Hi, my name is Brandon Graisley. I'm a high school math teacher, and today we're going to practice multiplying some binomials together. Binomials have this form. There are two terms, and usually we're talking about this linear binomial or first degree binomial, which has a variable with an exponent of 1, like that one there. And we're going to do 4 examples in this video. So each time we have a product of two binomials, we need to multiply this whole term, or this whole binomial, by each of the terms in the other binomial. So we're going to multiply this entire thing by each thing inside here. So the first one, x plus 3, we're going to multiply that by x. And then we're going to multiply x plus 3 again by negative 4. Now the negative sign can be here, or I can put the negative sign there. I tend to like to put it over here because I think it's less confusing for some stuff that we're going to do later. So I always just sort of add all of the terms and keep the negative signs with each term from inside the binomial. So now here I have another product. I've got this x plus 3 times x, and the distributive property says that when we multiply these two things together, we have to multiply each term inside by the value from the outside. So here I'm going to take this x and multiply it by each of these two things, the other x and the 3. So x times x and 3 times x, and I'm putting all this in brackets so you can see each piece. And I'm going to do the same thing here, negative 4 times x. I'll write the x first, x times negative 4. And then I'm going to multiply here 3 times negative 4. This is why I didn't really want the minus sign out here, because I would have had to be really careful about my minus signs on the outside. Now that I've left them with the minus 4, it's a lot easier to keep track of them. Here we have x squared. Here we have 3x. This is a negative 4x. I could have written plus and then in brackets negative 4x, but we're ready now, I think, to handle the minus sign out here. And this last one is a minus 12. We're going to collect like terms. I have two of them here and here. They both have an x with exponent 1 on it. X squared, positive 3, negative 4, that's negative 1, or we can just write negative x, and minus 12. Okay, x squared minus x minus 12. Let's try the next one. We have 7 minus 3x, and that's fine that the 7 is written first, and the second part is x plus 15. I'm going to multiply this entire piece here by each of the pieces inside the bracket, here and here. So I've got 7 minus 3x times x plus 7 minus 3x times 15. Now I've got another distributive property to deal with. I've got x times each of the things inside of here. This one and this one. So 7 times x plus negative 3x times x. Same thing happening over here. I've got 15 times 7, and I'm going to have this negative 3x times 15 as well. Ooh, I'm right on the edge of the screen there. That's a 15. Okay, I'll try to write a little smaller. 7x, negative 3x squared, that's x times x is x squared, plus 7 times 15 is 105. And then this is going to be, I've got plus and minus, so that's negative. 3 times 15 is 45x. Alright, let's find my terms with the same degree. I've got the variable x with an exponent 1. 7 minus 45, that's going to be negative 38. I just move that over there because I actually want to write my x squared term first, negative 3x squared. And then I've got a plus 105. So negative 3x squared. Here we've got negative 38x. and then 105 for the constant term. Okay. Let's move on to one that's a little bit more complex because it has some fractions in it. 5 plus 5x times 2 minus 2/5 x. And you could have maybe written this too as 2x over 5. That would be the same thing. But this is 2x times 2/5 times x. Alright, same thing. Let's do 5 plus 5x times the first term, 2, plus 5 plus 5x times the second term, which is negative 2/5 x. I'm just going to draw a little line here. Sorry, that got kind of close to my other question. Now let's expand this here. 5 times 2 plus 5x times 2. So expanding 2 times each of the things inside the bracket. And we're going to do the same thing here. 5 times negative 2/5 x plus the other part, 5x, times negative 2/5 x. That's 10. That's 10x. Now here we've got a fraction, 5 times negative 2/5 x. I'm going to actually make that whole thing negative because I can see I've got a plus and a minus. That's going to be the negative out there. So I've dealt with that. Now let's see, 5 times 2/5. This is like 5 over 1. 5 divided by 1. That's another way to write this. So lots of folks like to do that when they multiply fractions, because with fractions, when you're multiplying fractions, you multiply the tops and multiply the bottoms. So here we've got 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5 times x. And then we've got the very same fraction over here. Oh, and once again, I'll write my minus instead, sorry. And that'll be 10/5 x squared. Now let's clean all this up. 10 plus 10x, 10 over 5, or 10 divided by 5 is 2x. And here again we've got 10 divided by 5 is 2x squared, keeping my minus signs out in front here. And now the last little bit is to see that I've got two terms with the same variable x, with the same exponent 1. And I'm going to once again write my x squared term out at the front. Negative 2x squared. This is plus 10 minus 2. That's plus 8x. And that's a plus 10 at the very end. Okay, let's got one more question to do here. We'll see if we've got enough time. Let's see if we have enough paper. Maybe I better move on just in case. Alright, we have negative 2 minus 8x, negative 4x plus 5x squared. Now this is not quite the same because I've got an x and an x squared. The process is still the same, but my answer is not going to be a nice quadratic the way the others were. Alright, let's do the same thing. Negative 2 minus 8x times the first term, negative 4x. And then I'm going to have another negative 2 minus 8x times the second term, 5x squared. And we start to expand again. Negative 4x times the stuff inside of here, that's negative 2 times negative 4x, plus negative 8x times negative 4x. You see I'm just adding all these together. That's going to make it a lot easier to keep track of all my minus signs. I'm going to go on to the next line here to continue. Plus, over here I'm expanding negative 2 times 5x squared plus negative 8x times 5x squared. So just being really careful, I've got 4 terms here now. Sorry, they don't all fit on one line. This is 2 times 4 is 8, and because there are 2 negatives, that's a positive 8x. Here I've got negative and negative, that's another positive. So plus, that'll be 32, and 2 x's is x squared. The third term here is going to be negative because I've got plus, minus, plus. That's one negative sign. So that's negative 10 x squared. And then the last term again is negative, this time 40x cubed, because I've got 1x here and 2 x's there. That's 3 x's for x cubed. And again, we're going to collect our like terms. This time our like terms are these x squared terms. Let me write my biggest one at the front, negative 40x cubed plus 32 minus 10 is 22x squared plus 8x. So that's binomial expansion. My name is Brandon Graze. I'm a high school math teacher, and please ask some questions. Thanks.